Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nations Organization's main fan page where I do this daily live stream all around the divination card, the oracle card that I've chosen in the morning. And so we get to know a little bit about the important energy that's flowing today. That's the intention for the card draw. But it also sparks a spiritual conversation, right? And it's really enjoyable. I love these afternoons with you guys and with the Star Nations community as we share about insights that we feel and sense about the card and offering support to each other quite often as well. So welcome. Today is Thursday, February 21st. Sometimes the days kind of run together and it's kind of hard to keep track of what day is what day. The ones that I know for sure are when articles for Star Nations magazine are due to me, turned in by the contributing writers. The due date that I have to have things to Elm for the magazine and the publishing date. All other dates, I have to look at the calendar every single time. I know. So welcome. See, before we actually get started with any of the chatting or the card information, I'm going to like and share the live stream. And I invite you to do the same. And I explain this almost every day, is that really this is about helping other souls, other people, other two-leggeds to find the kind of spiritual information, conversation, community that they're searching for. And this is helpful to have us in the news feed a bit more often and easier to find, right? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to like and share. And here we are, and I am going to share it to my news feed so that my friends know that I'm live streaming. And asking them to please join us. There we go. I'm going to post that. There. Excellent. It doesn't take long, so I appreciate allowing me the few seconds it takes to do that, to pause, right? To pause. Yeah. So let's see who's all here. We're gonna get the in the chat room here. Well, Stephanie's at it. Stephanie Williams, who is our social media manager here at Star Nations. She's the one who does all the really great posts for us and sharing information about the shows that are coming up, the things in the magazine, and interesting information that she runs across to help us with the information on the cards and just a real support. Yeah, so thank you, Stephanie. And Rochelle is here. Hello, Neshi. She says, hello, Rochelle. Namaste to you too. Yeah, we got to scroll. And Julie Shumway Hill is here too. And Julie, it's always good to see her in the chat. Julie is Star Nation's Academy Manager. So we have two of the executive team in-house on the chat. Ain't that cool? I think it is. Sometimes we have Sharon, who also pops in every once in a while. Sharon is my assistant editor. She edits almost everything I write, but she also edits other things like book manuscripts and featured articles and that kind of thing. So yeah, so we got a lot of the executive team here. And oh yeah. Here, I gotta put this one up. I know it's kind of big, but if you can take a look at this one, this is about the class in the closed group academy here at Facebook for Star Nations. That's this evening. We're gonna be talking about soul contracts. Okay, so if you get a chance, just to peruse that information. And look who's here. Tina's here. Hello, Tina. It's always good to see you in the chat too. And Rochelle is saying a sunny day over where she lives in Michigan. We also have sunshine. It was, I want to say it was like It seems so long ago this morning. I think it was like 17 degrees above zero. And our high today was supposed to be like 28 or 29 degrees. Beautiful compared to yesterday. Yesterday it started snowing. I don't know, it must have been 5:30 in the morning or so, and it continued snowing into last night. Oh, just after supper. Um, and yeah, the plows weren't even out yet. They didn't come out, right? So what happened today? That's why I'm producing from the meditation room again, is because the township plow went through a couple of times this morning and this afternoon, and all the work that Paul did on the driveway, which was really good, all that snow. Now I have this big mound of snow at the bottom of the driveway. And I have a hybrid car, and I don't have much clearance. So George and I are here at the house, live streaming from the meditation room. Yeah. So it's just one more day. It's one more day. And I enjoy working from here too. So it's all right. And Rochelle saying she's grounded. Yay. Yay. Thank you, Rochelle, for sharing that and letting us know. And I cheer for you because every two-legged, every one of us who takes the moments to ground every day, it really does help the entire vibration of humanity, right? It does. It really does. It's that ripple effect. And so when we remember to do our grounding and protection field, it does change. It does change how the energy flows to you and around you. So thank you for sharing that, Rochelle. I appreciate it. All righty. Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about that one a little bit more toward the end of the classes that are coming up. Hey, Valerie. Valerie's here too. So good to see you in the chat. And thank you, Rochelle, for sharing. It's important. Rochelle says, I'm very grateful that you have this non-show. My awareness of life is so different, more open. Well, you're welcome, Rochelle. You really are. It's an honor, really it is, to be with you guys every day or nearly every day. And when I'm not, I miss you. I do. And having our conversations and sharing the information coming from the divination cards. Yeah. And so, it's reciprocal. It's reciprocal. And hey, Marie's here too. Good afternoon, Marie. Now, I have to say, Marie, I love your name. I saw it last night, because I was producing Polly Joe's show, Soul Connections. And I'm the one who takes your names from the comments and I put them into a list for Polly Joe. So she's not really reading your comments. Okay. That's why she doesn't reply back to you guys when you mention something directly to her, because she's not looking at the comments. She's only looking at the list of names. And it's a reason for that. She pulled 46 cards last night. 46. That's a lot. And so for her to remain focused and, as she calls it, in the zone, she doesn't look at the comments that are coming in. She reads them later after the show, she sits down with her laptop and has supper, and she goes through everybody's comments afterwards. But Marie, I have to say, I saw your name and I typed your name into the list, and I thought, oh, what a pretty name, Marie Colucci Recamp. It's very lyrical. It's very lyrical. And so you and I have never met, and but I just wanted to tell you that you have a very pretty name. It's very lyrical. Yeah. Let's see. Good. Oh, and here's Stephanie. She says, plumber just called and will be here soon. Holler loudly if you need any kind of links. Oh my gosh. Now, Stephanie is definitely, she takes her responsibility and taking care of all of us, right? During the shows and that sort of thing. And she had some plumbing issues. It's winter and people's pipes freeze all the time. And it just happened to happen to Stephanie today. And so, and laughed so hard it made me cry, Stephanie. But we will let you know very loudly if we need you. Okay, you take care of what you need to take care of there at home. And Shauna is here too. Hello, Shauna. Welcome to the live stream, to the daily live stream show. And we're going to be talking about the divination, or actually, it's an oracle card in just a minute. I'm just saying hi to everybody. Oh, you're welcome, Marie. You're welcome. It's I want to talk a little bit about Polly Joe's show last night. I know that it's a lot of cards to sit through, to have, to wait for your name to come up to receive your card, right? And I know that, especially when relatively new people come in to get a card drawn and to be a part of the live stream show. And it's nice that they do come and join us, right? But sometimes people get impatient because they feel like, where's my card? Where's my card? Where's my card? And one of the things I wanted to mention is that if you can hang in there and listen to everybody's cards, even after you received your card, all of the messages that are coming are for that individual, but as a collective, as a community, every message that comes through, each of us can relate or resonate to all of it or parts of it. And so you kind of get more of a full reading rather than just the one card, right? Now, the one card can be very life-changing information, right? And many of you have experienced that. But I was thinking about that last night as we were getting down to the last few people. And then two people popped in just as Polly Joe was signing off, right? And so I let her know that there was two more people that requested cards. But I was thinking, 46 cards, that is a comprehensive experience with spirit, with Polly Joe's spiritual helpers, her spiritual team, and having that kind of information coming through. So I guess my suggestion is that if you can do it, because I know it's a long time, is that if you can do the meditation, the healing meditation, working on your own healing items, and then stay for the entire card draw, because it makes it very powerful, or more powerful, I should say, more comprehensive. That was just an insight I had last night, so I thought I'd share it. Anne's here. Hello, Anne. Are you still on vacation? Taking it easy and having fun? I hope so. Down there in Florida, where it's nice and warm. Marie say, absolutely, almost a therapy session. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It is. Yeah, and Tina says, I realize that too, Neshi. I learn a lot. Thank you, Polly Joe. I know, I really. And when the Ancient One comes in, he wasn't there last night, not vocally anyway, I should say. When he comes into the healing session, yeah, for me, it's a familiarity. It's a being that I am familiar with. I recognize, not on a we've just been introduced at some meeting or something like that, obviously, but it's a being that I recognize from possibly other lives or parallel lives or something like that. And when he begins to speak, even though he's speaking in an ancient language, we understand him at a soul level, right? And so, whenever he shows up, it's always a blessing. Yeah. So, and Rochelle is saying, Polly Joe was so accurate with her reading last night, putting the past behind me, quit thinking about it. Yeah, when it's in that mental loop, right? That you think that everything is right here in the present moment, but when you're in reality, you're actually stretching yourself, you're being into the past and trying to recreate the past in the future, or in the present. And it takes a lot of energy to do that. And so a lot of times that's how we feel physically fatigued, and we don't know why, and we spend a lot of time in that energy of the past. And so I'm glad that resonated with you, Rochelle, and you were able to hone in on something for yourself. Oh, and Anne saying they're on their way home. Well, safe travels to you, and have fun coming home too. Those highways and byways, right? Julie said, I got a really good card last night, but I also got a lot from other people's cards too. I know. I agree, Julie. And I have to tell you, when listening to your card, I know you guys can't see me because, I'm producing. There's no reason to see me. But I'm going like this, I'm doing the jazz hands. And yeah, because that was a very exciting card for you. Yeah. I enjoyed it. And Rochelle, Tina's telling Rochelle, me too. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Tanya. Oh, Tanya. Hi, Neshi. She says, so good to be in touch with you. I am at work, but hoping to listen as much as I can today. I'm very interested in attending more events. My mom and I have talked about attending some together. Oh my goodness, that would be so great to see you. It's been years, literally years, hasn't it, Tanya? Tanya, I know Tanya through her mom, Bonnie. Bonnie and I worked together at the state of Wisconsin. We worked in the same bureau. We hung out a lot. we had lots of great conversations, and Bonnie is just a sweetheart. And they have a cabin not too far from where we live right now. I want to say maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. Not quite. And so, yeah, it would be great to have you guys here and to be able to take a class with me, or just enjoy the live stream shows. That's really good too. Yeah, I'm going to talk about classes toward the end of the hour here, and to let people know what's coming up. And hopefully you guys will feel, the draw to one of the classes, right? That it's for you. All right, so here we go. Let's talk about the card. Gotta move my phone. And for those who are relatively new to the daily live stream, I am broadcasting from my meditation room, and this has become the alternate studio for the live stream shows, and also for tonight's mini class, right? So half of my stuff is still up at the Academy, which is where the main studio is at. And so the cover to the deck of cards that we're using is up there. But I do have the book, and the name of the book, or name of the oracle cards, are Druid Animal Oracle. And the authors are Stephanie and Philip Cargome, and illustrated by Bill Worthington. And all three people hail from England. Philip Cargome is the lead druid at the. Oh, sure. Where's Rob Kendall when you need him? Because he knows this like this. Julie Shumway Hill. Do you remember Philip's the name of their? It's an acronym, and I've got it in my head. Oviates and something bards. It's the main group out of England, and Philip is also Mervyn Kelly's mentor, and Mervyn Kelly is one of our live stream show hosts, right? He hosts From Star to Stone, and so it's here at Star Nations. We're very eclectic, right, in belief systems, and that we support each other in that. And we find the commonalities within each one of the belief systems. And so Mervyn brings to us that European Druid perspective, right? And he gifted me these cards for the winter solstice. And so we started using the cards on February 1st. And I'm telling you, I am learning a lot about Druidry. because what I knew before was like this much, a little bit more than a thimbleful, or as Paul would say, a little bit more than a schluck. Yeah, we don't know exact measurement of the schluck, but it's a little bit more. And so it has been a learning experience for me. There's some things that I have been aware of, because I've been studying spiritual information, 30 years now, something like that. And so in all that time and all that reading and all those classes and all that the experience with other groups, you get to hear a few things, right? And the thing is that with this information, because it's coming from a European, English, Britain, UK perspective, there are some things that are quite new, right? And we're not asking anybody to change their belief systems. What we're talking about is to broaden your perspective, right? And if you do have ancestry to the English, the Celts, the Irish, the Scottish, that it's information that you might feel kind of like, oh, that's really interesting, or really be drawn to it because it's in your blood and your bones, right? And so it's a time for us to be able to kind of tap into that, right? Now, see, I spoke his name and in he came, Rob. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. Yep, here he is. Hello, Rob. OBOD. Yeah, I knew that. It was like right here, right? And I just couldn't pull it out. Thank you, guys. Oh, you guys are so good. Order of Bards, Oviates, and Druids. Yep. And see, these two people, these two individuals, Rob and Julie, they're on my trivia team this coming New Year's because we're going to play trivia again for Star Nations. I called dibs on those two. I can't play. I'm a part of it, so I can't play. And neither can Julie the next time around because now she's an executive team member. Ha. Oh, man, huh, Julie? Maybe you can help organize the questions. And Stephanie's on it, druidry.org. So if you guys are interested in seeing a little bit more about their organization, you can take a look. All right. So here's the card that came today. And that is Sow. And in Gaelic, it's Mook. Mook. It's spelled M-U-C, pronounced Mook. I gotta fix my camera here just a little bit. Okay. All right. I forget to do this, okay? There's some people who might be watching who's that? Yeah. So my name's Yvette Neshi Lokotz. All right, so here she is, the sow. With her babies. Aren't they cute? Farmland, rolling hills in the background. Crop in the fields. Babies all around. Eating nuts. And drinking from their mommy. The sow. And we've talked about this a bit. The last few cards that we've gotten is that from a Native American point of view anyway, that we wouldn't necessarily have considered, the power animal being a sow, but why not, right? Why not? And we also had bull male cattle, right? The other day, and I had shared that when I was sitting with the card, that the cattle to the ancient ones over in that continent, England and Europe, that cattle to them were very much like the buffalo were to the Osheti-Sakowee, or the Plains indigenous people across west of the Mississippi, right? And at some point in our history, also east of the Mississippi. But for those of us who live east of the Mississippi, it would be like white-tailed deer, right? Because those animals give us everything: food, clothing, shelter, spiritual support. And cattle are Europe's equivalent to that. And so it's the same with the sow. It's the equivalent, because there are lots and lots of tales and stories and about the female pig, right, the sow, and in the European context. And when I was looking at the card, this is a memory that came to me from a childhood memory. My dad was, he liked farming. He really did. He liked raising chickens and ducks and having horses. We had a hobby farm for a very short time. And we also had pigs. We had, I can't even remember, maybe 2. Anyway, one of them was a female, and she had babies. And I remember it being warm, because us kids, we got to sleep in the living room on the floor because it was cooler in there. And early morning, mom and dad are up, and mom is, of course, working in the kitchen, and dad was taking care of the animals. And I remember it being a sunny morning, and it was very early. And dad came to wake us up and said, hurry up and get dressed. It's like, nobody really wanted to roll out of bed that early in the morning. But what he'd said is that she had her babies. And so, of course, we go rushing outside and looking at these tiny little piglets. They were so cute, and watching them grow up, right? Yeah. And so that this picture brought that memory back, and how they used to root around and to try to find some food. Of course, we fed them and watered them, but they were always searching for other food. Yeah. So let's see, Stephanie. What is Stephanie saying here? We should have a teachers against teachers trivia for the next New Year's too. Oh my. Oh my. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. It'd be fun. I'd have to think about that. All right. So with this card, obviously we're looking at something about nurturing, right? I mean, she's feeding her babies. Yes. The babies are eating the nuts off the ground. So Grandmother Earth is also providing for the babies. Yeah. Very cool. And I know that with the sow, they also provide food, right? For those who are carnivores, two-leggeds that are carnivores or omnivores. That's a good one. Omnivores. Is that there are many people who do eat pork, and there's also a lot of people who don't eat pork. because of either religious beliefs or dietary beliefs, right? Yeah. But the pig also provides a lot of food for two-leggeds all over the world, right? And right now, let's see, today's the 21st. Okay, so the Chinese New Year just ended on the 19th. It goes from February 1st until the February 19th. And it is the year of the pig. Year of the pig. You know, and so when we're looking at this, some of the qualities of the pig is about nurturing, taking care of others. The positive qualities of pig. Yeah. Being of service, right? Being of service. Well, let's see what Philip Cargome has to say about sow, about mook. The words he associates with this is generosity, nourishment, and discovery, right? So generosity, nourishment, and discovery. He says the card shows a sow with her piglets. In the fields behind her, we see wheat and barley. Said to have been brought to Wales by the divine sow, Henwen, the white ancient. On the horizon, we see the hill of Tara, which is in Ireland, which is in Ireland, which was once known as Mook Innis in Irish, Mook Innis, and that means Pig Island. When the Tua de Danann, the shining ones, changed it into the shape of a pig. In the foreground, to the right, grows sow thistle. And to the left, deadly nightshade, which it is said, pigs can eat without harm. On the ground lies one of the favorite foods of pig, the nuts of the beech tree. The nuts of the beech tree. Okay, so the nuts of the beech tree. I don't know if you guys remember this, but when we had the card salmon. Now, salmon is to the Druids like the best or the highest power animal that you could ever have is salmon, because of the wisdom that it carries, right? And the wisdom, part of the wisdom that how they got it is, one is they have longevity, but it comes from eating the nuts from the beech tree. And so here we have it again, that the sow, the piglets, are eating the beech tree nuts. So now we know that this is going to have something to do with wisdom. Wisdom, not knowledge, wisdom. Right? Because the difference between knowledge and wisdom, knowledge is the gathering of information. Gathering of information. It's maybe the classes, maybe it's the books, maybe it's the YouTube. It's the gathering of information. Wisdom is what you gain for the application of the knowledge. Okay, so how we gain wisdom many times is through our life lessons. So that means that in our life lessons, when we have a situation, an opportunity amongst us, in front of us, we're right in the middle of it. And, we're going through the dark night of the soul, or we certainly are uncomfortable about what's going on. And we, and maybe we've hit that wall of frustration. I've tried everything and nothing's changing. Have you ever been there? I have. And when we're in the midst of that kind of learning, we forget our tools, we forget our gifts. And that's why it's important to have an inner circle of friends and family around you, people who you trust, so that when you share with them what's going on in your life, they can ask you or remind you, did you use your oils? Did you ground? Right? And start, reminding you of all the tools and your gifts that you have so you can start applying them. And it's in the application that when we work through our life lessons, and we come to the point where we learn what we were meant to learn, is that's the wisdom on the other side of that. And that is what we gather our wisdom, and then we take it to our community, and so we can help someone else, right? So that we can be in service. So looking at this card, and with the beech tree nuts on the ground, symbolizing wisdom, and that the piglets are taking in that wisdom. What do you think? Hey, Gina's here. Hello, Gina. Good to have you here. Oh, and look, Pat's here too. Hello, Pat. Good to have you here in the live chat. It's always good to see your name there. And so, yes, this is the card that came today, Sow. And in Gaelic, it's Mook. Spelled M-U-C, but it's pronounced Mook. With your babies. And let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 babies. All right, for those of you that love numerology, and I know there's some practitioners and people who really like it in the chat, tell us what you know about 7. About the number 7. Right? And while you're doing that, I'm going to count the beech tree nuts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, looks like. Because there's a few down at the bottom that you can just barely see. 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18. Wait, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22, it looks like. 22, because some of them don't have a shell. Right? Well, I don't know. It depends on what numerology. 9 is usually the completion number. 9 is usually completion. Yeah, 7 usually has to do with spirit. Yeah, 7 usually has something to do with spirit. Rob is saying the 7 planets of Platonic astronomy, it's the foundation of astrology. Oh, see, there you go. So it's a foundation. Yeah. All right. So, so like the 7 is, 8 is the sign of infinity. It's that in spirit, that's that balance of giving and receiving, and it's never ending, right? It's continuous. And so 7, with being the foundation, we could say the foundation of spirit, of your belief systems. Yeah. Rob goes on to say there are the 7 skywalkers visible to the naked eye and include the sun and the moon. Skywalkers. Okay, so what are skywalkers, Rob? I'm thinking they're planets or stars that we can see by the naked eye, but I just want to make sure that we're on the same page, right? Yeah. Yeah. So let's see what Philip goes on to say. He says, Mook, with her large litters, symbolizes abundance and fertility. Drawn upright, this card may mean that you are called upon to be generous. Feeling connected to the love of the goddess for all of her creatures, you are able to give freely, knowing that you in turn are nourished and sustained by her. Choosing this card, you can open yourself to the abundance that exists throughout nature. You can allow yourself to accept this abundance, knowing that life perpetually renews itself and that you need not worry about ever being disconnected from it. Allow yourself to feast upon life, to enjoy its beauties and its sensual delights. The goddess is generous, giving to all and renewing all. Now, holy cow. That's a lot of energy there, don't you think? The one part that kind of jumped out at me was allow yourself to feast on life. Allow yourself to feast on life. That kind of reminds me of a line in Auntie Mame. Have you guys ever watched that old movie with Rosalind Russell? Auntie Mame. It wasn't Rosalind Russell. That's not right. Rosalind. Her name is Rosalind, but I don't think it's Russell. All right. So one of her lines, the character, Auntie Mame, in that movie is, life is a banquet, and most poor slobs are starving to death. Yeah. Life is a banquet, and most poor slobs are starving to death. So basically, it means the same thing, right? Is that we have all of this abundance around us every day, every moment of the day. And it's whether or not we choose to receive. And to be grateful for what we receive, right? Because when we're grateful in what we receive even more. Yeah. And so feast on life. Feast on life. All right. Oh, Tina's saying 7 Brothers of the Stars. Okay. And Rob is saying planets come from the Greek word for sky wanderers. Ah, okay. Don't you like that? Thank you, Rob. I like that. Sky wanderer. Rob, do you happen to know what the word is? I mean, not that I could pronounce it, but that would be really kind of a cool name for something. Like a blog or something, you know? All right. So Julie is saying 7 is a number of introspection, inner wisdom, and the pursuit of perfection. Okay. Could you let us know where that source, Julie, so that in case somebody else likes, resonates with that, they know where you got that from, and they can go look at the other numbers. But that's a good one. Introspection, inner wisdom, and the pursuit of perfection. 7. So if we look at the words that were channeled by the author, right? Generosity, nourishment, and discovery. So maybe Sow and her piglets are helping us to understand that introspection, looking for that generosity inside of us, because we all have it, right? The nourishment. We can feed our physical body, but how do we feed our soul? How do we feed our spirit? How do we nourish ourselves that way? And, that introspection can go along with the discovery. I like that. Thank you, Julie. I think you helped us hit on something there. And Anne said, we need not want for anything God provides. Exactly, Anne. Exactly. Thank you. And Tanya said, it was Rosalind Russell. Thank you. I knew it was Rosalind and I knew it was Russell, but I didn't putting those two things together. Thank you. One of my favorite ones too. Yeah. As is Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Yeah. That will stop me in my tracks and say, wait, we got to watch that again. Oh, Barbie's here. Hello, Barbie. Good to have you here. Yep. There you go, Julie. Yeah. Tina's saying Seven Brothers is the Big Dipper. Aha. Aha. Very good. Thank you, Julie, for putting that in there. She gives us the link for the infinitynumerology.com. Good one. Thank you. Knowledge is feeding the soul. Knowledge is feeding the soul. Yeah. I don't, this is what's going through my head, Tina, is, the ceremony of where they use the wasna, and I know that they use it in more than one ceremony but the wasna, the last time I was out in South Dakota and they were doing a ceremony, giving us a little bit of it, right, along with the choke cherry juice. But the wasna is meant to feed the spirit of the soul, feed us as a spirit. And it comes from both, the mixture of the buffalo and the berry, whether it's choke cherry berry or blueberry or something like that. And it's, pounded and mixed together. It's kind of like, it's dry, that's for sure. But that's food to feed the spirit of the soul. And so when I'm comparing that to knowledge, I'm wondering if we would say that wisdom is what, because the wisdom is what gives us soul growth, right? The knowledge is a tool. The knowledge is a tool, and it's not until we actually start applying the knowledge that it's rather we kind of sit with it for a while too, don't we? We do. We have to, in order to bring it in. That is good too. I like that, Tina. Thank you for sharing that. And Rochelle says, I chose the number 7 for my personalized Lions jersey. Lions jersey? We won't get into that. I was going to say, Packers maybe, but I don't know about those Lions. Just kidding. Rev says, without looking it up, I want to say Platanos. Planetos. It's more of a Spanish kind of to it. Thank you, Reb. He says, I was close. It's feminine. Yeah. I like that you even get the font that way. Jeez. You think that you had something to do with computers. Tina said, feed the grandfathers who come to the ceremony salmon berries and one other, can't think of it. Yeah, across Turtle Island, I think that we all, the indigenous people, we all have something to that effect, right? Because, we also have spirit plates, right? And some believe that you do it at every meal. And in my family, we do it during certain, we call them ghost meals, is when you have a meal for one of your relatives that has walked on, right? You take a bit, because all the food that we have is their favorite food. And so we take just a little bit of everything. And then we put ours in the sacred fire. There's others that just take the paper plate and they set it outside, and that's good, same, it's the same thing basically. But feeding the soul, feeding the spirit. Yeah. Platatas. All right, so now we have to get the correct Greek pronunciation. And Tina's saying, knowledge is feeding you like giving food for the brain. Ah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's kind of another link, looking at the time, we got about less than 10 minutes, is that in the mystery schools of Egypt, right, you had the left and right eye of Horus. Each of those were 12 years to go through it as an initiate. And so a lot of it was, some of it was knowledge based, where, it was taking in information. And you're right, Tina, feeding the brain, right? And then the other school was all about application. Application. Yeah. Good one. And I know, Rochelle, Detroit. I know. It's like football, right? I was just putting the Packers against the Lions. Rob says Spanish is the closest Romance language to Greek. Okay. All right. So, okay. Well, then Planetas. Then it's Planetas. If it's close to Spanish. I'd have to look at the word again. I don't think it's the AY. Planetas. Yeah, because the A in there is like an apple. That's not apple. It's an sound. Planetas. Yeah. And Tina's saying, it's weird, one time I went to a sweat lodge, and after we ate, and the soup was made of inside of organs of the cow buffalo, and actually it tasted good, and they called it grandfather's soup. Okay. Yeah, that kind of reminds me of menudo. And I'm sure some people are going, oh my God, but that is where most of the nutrients are in those organs. And and the thing is we also have to the animals that are taken for that kind of ceremony, they're well taken care of. They're ceremonies for the ceremony, right? And so they're really nourishing all aspects of us in those rituals, in those ceremonies. It's not like when we go out to Culver's to grab a burger, or I'm sorry, let's take that back, McDonald's to grab a burger, because the vibration of that food is much lower because of how the animal was taken, if it is even animal, right? So there's quite a difference. Here, before we run out of time, because I love this conversation, there's a couple more things I wanted to share with you that the author said. He says the pig is sacred to the goddess, the providing and nourishing aspect of divinity, and as such, it's often depicted in the old tales as a magical beast, which is constantly reborn however many times it's eaten. So the sow gives its life force to nourish, to the ceremony. And in that giving of that nourishment, it's reborn, and it's never ending. It's never ending. It's a cycle. He says that the pig is a gift from the gods or goddess to nourish humankind, was clearly recognized by the Celts. And they had specific farmers that raised the pigs, right? And to be called a pig farmer then was actually a very noble way of living, was taking care of the pigs. He says the pits or shafts were used to make Thanksgiving offerings and were symbolically associated with the underworld. The pig as a primary source of nourishment meant that it was a central feature of both the earthly Celtic feasts and the underworld feasts. So feeding both the physical body and also the spirit body. As a source of nourishment, the pig represents the goddess, and in parts of Scottish Highlands, a brood sow is termed grandmother. And in the native world, how many times do we call something grandmother or grandfather, right? Yep. All right. And so there is, let's see, the three powerful swineherds of Britain talks of a sow, Henwen, the white ancient, who gives birth to a wolf cub, an eagle, a bee, a kitten, and a grain of wheat. Henwen was said to possess great wisdom, having eaten the nuts which had fallen from the beech tree, a sacred tree of the Druids symbolizing ancient knowledge and tradition. She manifests sometimes as a pig, the goddess does. Her neophytes being addressed as piglets, her worshippers as swine, her druid as a boar or boar of the trees, and the swineherd, right? He goes on to say that the pig is completely omnivorous, will eat virtually anything it finds. But this lack of discrimination is balanced with the pig's ability to find hidden treasures, such as truffles, right? And so all that rooting around, they find something, they find a gift, they find a treasure. The ability of pigs to discover the earth's secrets is one of the reasons why the pig is so important to the Druid tradition. Both male and female pigs are sacred to the goddess, the sow representing her life-giving aspect, the boar symbolizing her life-taking aspect. To fully understand the role of the pig as a totem animal, we must study and work with both sow and boar. And we've had both cards. We had the boar a few days ago, right? I don't know. Here we go. I think this is the feeling I have about this card and the reason why it came to us today, that it has to do with the wisdom that we gain. And when we gain that wisdom, when we have that soul growth, we can take that wisdom and we can be in service to our community, right? And in that service to the community, we have generosity. In order to even gain it, we had to discover something in order to have that soul growth. Nurturing ourselves and others. So I think this has a lot to do with whatever we're going through at the moment with our soul growth. And perhaps that if you're in the middle of an opportunity, we'll call it, for soul growth, in other words, maybe you're going through something, is take a look at how generosity, nourishment, and discovery can help you move through your event, your opportunity, so that you can gain that wisdom. So you're using your gifts and you're applying it. You're applying your knowledge. Yeah, it's a good one. I like it. Love this conversation. What do you guys think of it? Oh my gosh, that was a lot, wasn't it? All right. Got to scroll up here. Tina's saying, I don't know all about it, but Chinese said that the inside organs of humans was the second brain. Huh. Well, that's something. I don't know about that one. I have to think about that one. Second organs. Because I do know that when a wolf, right, takes down a prey, the first thing they eat is the intestines in the stomach area, the intestines. Why? Is because that is where the food is digested and being ready to be absorbed. So there's a lot of nutrients there, right? There's a lot of nutrients. And you're not going to find as many nutrients, let's say, like in, the bigger muscle area, right? And so what they're going after is the high impact area of the body first. Yeah. Tanya's saying, this has been great. Thank you. You're very welcome, Tanya. And thank you for being a part of the conversation, right? Because we learn so much from each other. So if any of this resonated with you at all, any of the information, my suggestion is to embrace it, and see, feel, sense how the energy of today is unfolding around you and where this information could be helpful, right? Perhaps it's an insight that you've been looking for. And if it didn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. There's always tomorrow and tomorrow's card, right? And I always say that perhaps you're the messenger. Maybe you know somebody who has been looking for this information or would enjoy this kind of conversation, and just share the recorded show link with them. And then you're done. This is what I kind of see, that motion, done. Or like the blackjack dealers, what do? They show their hands, and that means you're done. Oh my gosh. You're right, Brittany. And welcome to the show. Brittany says nutritional purpose. Yes. And Bettina is saying, I will try and send it to you. It's in the sacral chakra. Okay. It'd be great. Yeah, I like what Brittany said, nutritional purpose. But when we talk about nutritional in this sense with this card, if you can look at it from a broader perspective than just the physical, is to include all our bodies, our mental, our emotional, and our spiritual body, right? And so it's nutritional for our entire self, Yay. All right. I wanted to share with you something that Stephanie had posted, and it's in the comments, so that you'll be able to scroll back through and see exactly what the information is all about. Is that I have 2 classes that are coming up. Actually, okay, back up. 3 classes that are coming up. There's one tonight in the Star Nations Academy closed group here at Facebook. It's a free mini class. It's only an hour, but we're going to be chatting about soul contracts. Okay. And that's at 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you're not a member of the Academy, please go there and join. And either Julie or I will make sure that you are accepted into the group. But please, if you could go in there, give us up until that'd be 6 p.m. Central or 7 Eastern. Okay. Give us a little time to get in there and do that so that you can actually be a part of it. All right. Don't join in the last minute, because otherwise we'll probably miss it. Okay. That's number 1. Number 2 is the drum making workshop that I have scheduled for May 18th in Lyons, Michigan is full. And so if you're looking at wanting to make a drum with me, I have a class coming up here in Wisconsin, in Toma. I think it's in August, or is it in September? It's toward the end of summer, early fall. But if you're interested in Michigan, please let Julie Shumway know. And because she's going to start a waiting list, and we'll see if we need to offer another round of drum making over in Michigan. Probably not until later in the summer, though. Okay. All right. And the other one is my class is coming up on March 22nd weekend. That's the Journey of Remembering. And it's a class that I've taught in the past. It's about awakening or remembering, living from your heart. And we'll be doing some healing over the weekend. And also the culmination of all of that on Sunday we'll do is the activation of your Merkaba and teach you how to use it. Okay. So, that's the weekend of the 22nd here at Toma and at the Star Nations Academy. Okay. Yeah. So it's going to be a healing kind of weekend. But more importantly, that healing will activate your Merkaba because you're going to be able to be in your heart more often. Oh, thank you, Julie. She says that drum making is on August 17th. I should remember that. That was my dad's birthday. Can I join the group? I want to be cool. Rob, you're cool with or without the group. You know, he's already a member. He's joking around. Yeah. Okay. You're cool anyway, with or without being in a group. That's a fact. Okay. With that, I'm going to let you go. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. And if you could make it, come to the Academy closed group for the class this evening. Okay. And enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bama Mina. That's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.